Hello, I'm Alexandra and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is my October wrap-up, so all the books I have read in October. It was by far my best reading month since at least January. The year has not been for reading, but it's changing. So in October I did finish 11 books, which was my usual numbers. Like last year and the year before, I was even reading more than that, so you know. But I'm very happy with the fact that I've finished 11 books. We'll start with the first book I did finish this month. It is Clara in the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it wasn't good, okay. I was confused in all the book. It took me forever to finish because I was just not getting into this book. I think I started it in September, so I did finish it in October, but honestly, like, it was not it. I was not enjoying this book, which is sad because I wanted to read more by this writer, and I don't think it's gonna happen because it was just that bad, for me at least. Like, the writing was not it, the story was very strange, just overall not for me, so this has to be like a 1 star, maybe. But then I read a cozy book, which is Sunrise on Half Moon Bay by, I believe it's Robin Carr, if I'm not mistaken. I'll put it on the screen. It was a library book. Absolutely loved that one. Like, it was just like super cute. So it's a romance. It's very close to what you would read in Virgin River or watch in Virgin River. So small town, couple of people, you know, 2 sisters going through different stages of life because they have like, I don't know, 20 years between them. So one is older with teenagers and the other one is like in her late 20s trying to figure out what she wants to do in life. It was just like a perfect read, super quick too. Yeah, I think this has to be like a 4 stars. I'm not giving it a 5 stars because I don't think it was worth 5 stars, but absolutely amazing book. Yeah, I think you should read that one if you're into romance because it was just that cute. Then I read a historical fiction. It's called The Other Bolian Girl. This one was about the other Bolian girls. Basically, you're following her name. Mary? Is that Mary? Anyway, so you have Anne Boleyn, who was married to King Henry VI, if I'm not mistaken, and her sister was his mistress before she got married. Anyway, so she had 2 kids by him, a girl and a boy, and it's all about her life and what happened to her basically, and I just loved it. I love historical fiction that's about like king and queens and all of that, so it was a good read. It was a longer read for sure, but it was very good. And then I read a romance called Royal Holiday, and this was my 3rd book by this writer, and I wouldn't say I'm a fan because it's okay, but it's not amazing, and there's so many better romance writer for me. So, but I read it fast though. I read it in 1 day, so that was great, but the rest just not for me, which is fine. Then I read In the Mist of Winter by Isabelle Allende. I had read a book by Isabelle Allende prior to this one, which I absolutely loved, but I forgot the name. So I was kind of excited to pick this. It was also a library book, and it fell flat. It's sad because I wanted to love that book. Basically, you're following these 3 main characters as they figure out what to do with a body. Yes, a body. And you go back through their life who are like all linked to Central/South America during revolutions and all of that, which was the part I actually liked. It was like, you know, the part where they talk about their past, but like the present, the current story, it just felt, no, it didn't work. But the like half of the book is about the past and the other half is not that bad, so I think it's worth a read if you enjoy like historical fiction linked with current contemporary fiction, all of that. I think the writing is great. It's also a book in translation. It was translated from Spanish to English. Well, at least I read the English version, and I think it was a good translation. So overall, it wasn't a bad book. I would give this a 3 stars, but like it wasn't a 5 stars for sure. Just give me a second. Look who's here! Hey, a baby! Anyway, so yeah, In the Midst of Winter by Isabelle Allende is not a bad book. It just wasn't what I was expecting. So, you know, kind of sad, but it's life. So now for the 6th book I have read is The Daughter of Dr. Moreau by Silvia Moreno Garcia, if I'm not mistaken. It was also a library book. This is horror. I had read Mexican Gothic, which I loved. I listened to Mexican Gothic as an audiobook, and this one, The Daughter of Dr. Moreau, I read it as a like physical book, which might have been the reason why I didn't enjoy that much. I think it was boring. So basically there's hybrids, so animals and humans mixed together, which is fine, but like I just don't get the horror part of that book. So I don't know, I don't think it's worth a read, honestly. Like the only nice part about this book is it's a pink book, which is kind of sad when you think about it. So yeah, not a good book. It's sad. I don't think I'm gonna read other books by this writer. Yeah. Anyway, then I read a thriller for a little challenge of reading thrillers before Halloween. So I did read The Beautiful Mystery by Louise Penny. This is part of the Armand Gamache Inspector series, and like it wasn't the best for sure. There's somebody who got, you know, in a monastery with monks, and it's just, I don't know, I didn't care at all, which is kind of sad because I used to love Louise Penny, like her, like maybe the first 2 or 3 books in this series, but since then it just hasn't worked. So yeah, I don't think it was worth a read. At least it's one physical unread book that I have read, so that's the good part. And then I did read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Susan Collins, also a library book. And the thing is, I went into this with very low expectations because I didn't like reading the first Hunger Games book. I enjoyed watching the movie. I also enjoyed watching this movie, The Ballad of Songbird and Snakes. But like the book, no. I think it would have been better as an audiobook, as there is a lot of like music, songs. But the rest, no. I think that Susan Collins doesn't write that well. Like her writing doesn't work for me. So yeah, I think the movie is better in this case, which is sad, but it's life. Then I did finish this book. It's The Quiet Game by Greg Iles. I absolutely love this writer. Like it's my 3rd or 4th book I have read by him this year, or in the last 2 years at least, and I've loved them all. They are not 5 stars, but like at least a 4. I just love the story. I like the story building, the world building, all of that. Like it's super good. Also, like it's a thriller, so the part of the thriller is also very good, and the side stories, like romantic stories, family stories, are also very good and well linked into the story. So I am excited to read more by him. I've also realized he's still writing to this day, so more and more books to read by him, but they are thicker ones. But yeah, it was a very good book. Then I did finish an audiobook I started in January. It's Wandering Stars by Tommy Orange, and it was bad, and it's also the reason why I've stopped reading the book from the long list of the Booker Prize, because it just wasn't working for me. So in this book you're following a bunch of people. It's very confusing, and it's like it's part of another book he has written, but like it's apparently a standalone, but it's just so confusing. For me, the writing is not that good. It gets too deep into stereotypes. I know that's the point, but just it didn't work for me. So not gonna read any book by Tommy Orange ever again, because it just, like, I would say 1 star. I forced myself to finish the audiobook because like I wanted to finish it, so you know. And the last book I have finished is Privileged Information by Stephen White. It was also in my reading trailers for Halloween, and it just didn't work. It was the first time I've read Stephen White. I have so many of his books on my shelf, so kind of stressed, but there's like so many commentaries about like women, and you know, it just didn't work. I'll read another book by him to see, but like if it's the same thing, I'm gonna unhaul all of his books because like I can't. Anyway, the story, like the thriller part wasn't that bad, but it's just the rest was weird, and also at first it was a bit confusing, but you know. So this one I did finish 4 books of my unread physical books, which is great. It's a good start. Now this month I'm not gonna read library books, so I'll focus on my physical books. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. So 11 books, including 4 of my unread physical books. I think I've listened to 2 audiobooks, like part audiobook, part physical books, and I've read a bunch of library books, but it was a good month. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon in another video. Bye!